Hi everyone, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and there's nothing terribly different in this video this time, nothing really super different in the way I pour it, but I am trying something a little bit new. I am going to do an in the pot swirl, but I'm also going to do an internal and external mica drizzle with gold mica, just to see how that disperses. I've tried that before, but I didn't quite use enough, so the internal mica drizzle didn't really show up as much. So I'm going to try that, but taking inspiration from the scents I'm using essential oils of lavender, eucalyptus, and peppermint, and I'm using them in that order, with lavender being the most and peppermint being the last, because peppermint can be very strong. So I want to kind of balance those scents a bit, and I took the color references from those also. So I have a little bit of purple to represent the lavender and two types of greens for the eucalyptus and the peppermint. So let's get on with the color tutorial and then on with the soap making. So this is going to be a fairly simple color scheme for this soap, because generally I like to keep the more natural, fragranced with essential oil soaps a little bit more simple. So it's a really good starting place if you're a little intimidated with color. I'm going to start with just a nice light green, and for purposes of kind of getting an idea of what it's going to look like once it's in the soap, that's the purpose of me using my watercolors. Not something you have to do at all, but as I said when I started to do this more regularly, a color tutorial, it's a lot less expensive to experiment with watercolor than it is with your micas. It's also a good way to kind of experiment with the colors, just to get some ideas of what you want to put in your soap. So I'm going to have this creamy, it's almost like a jade green, which is like a dark pastel version of green, since it is altered with a little white. Some mint leaves, when they're brand new, they have this nice light green quality to it. And then I want a dark green. I don't really have a dark green mica, so I know I'm going to combine that with either a black mica or a little bit of activated charcoal. So I think it's going to look something like that. So you could build a color scheme just simply with a pastel of green and a green that has some black mixed with it, which we call shade. So there's a shade of green and a pastel of green right there. And I'm going to use a little bit of titanium dioxide, just a little. So the natural soap color may just come through with this a little bit too. I don't want it to be as heavy on the micas as usual. So I just put a little dab of orange and yellow there, just to probably approximate what it's going to look like once it's mixed. I got some green off my brush there too, but that's not really what I'm going to have in my soap. And then I'm going to have a nice rich purple to represent the lavender, and I think I'm just going to go for it and put it in, a pure purple clear mica. As you watch the video, I try to label in the screen what exact micas I'm using, because that's one of my most frequently asked questions, is what micas I use, where I get them. I'll get them from a variety of sources. Once I find a particular color that I like, I generally stick with it, because it's nice to know how they work ahead of time. So that's going to be the color scheme, and I'm going to use an in the pot swirl to get a nice feathering effect, and I'm just going to have a little bit of each of these colors except for the white, so that I don't overdo it with the color. And let me bring you back right after this dries so I can show you how I'm going to imagine the gold drizzle, the interior gold drizzle will look in this soap. So the next thing I want to show you is my little bit of gold mica that I'm going to pour into the in the pot swirl, but in just a small amount. I want it to kind of just form these veins of gold that go through the colors, and it's probably going to look similar to this. It's just going to scumble and penetrate the soap and go in places where I can't plan it. So it's just I'm just gonna trust that the pour is going to just integrate the gold in just a kind of natural looking way. And then I'm going to do a gold drizzle on top of the soap. And the reason why I'm showing you this is also because I want to show you how gold acts as a neutral, especially in its metallic form. In other words, you can put gold with almost anything. That's why gold looks so great with reds and purples and greens and blues. So it's not going to contradict anything in this color scheme by adding the gold to it as well. So let's get on with the soap making. Okay, it's the same routine even though it's a simpler soap. Blend my kaolin clay with the rest of my oils. And I'm soaping at around 85 degrees today. There's my lye solution. And here's my mix of essential oils, lavender, peppermint, and eucalyptus. After all the soaps I've been making, I've been just wanting to get to some more essential oil scented soaps. Okay, now I'm forcing myself to use just a little bit of color by putting it in these smaller cups. I have 2 greens, 1 purple, so I think I'm going to use a little more purple. And you can see I didn't really put much in there. That amounts to about 3/4 of a cup. And I want to stir in some titanium dioxide to the main mix. And give that a blend. And my light green. My dark green, and man, it smells good in here. And the purple. So I made the colors strong because I'm only using a little bit of it in the whole batch. I want it to be really vibrant against the white soap. I've got some gold mica prepared also. Soap is really great. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to do in the pot swirl for this. I just want really nice ribbons throughout the soap, so I'm going to start with the white. Some more white. And the purple. I'm going right in the middle of the pot. Sometimes I just do it out of curiosity. If I do that, what's going to happen? Some white. I'm going to pour some just this oil and mica. Some white. Dark green. white. Let's go there. Purple. Save the rest for the top. A little bit of white. Light green. I'm going to just drizzle some of this gold around the top. I also have some gold mica for a drizzle on the top of the soap. Okay. I do want to get the rest of the white in there. Okay, now we're ready to pour. So just in that short amount of time, this soap has really become a thicker consistency. I'm going to pour just in the center. And you can see how that swirled all by itself in there. Let's get the rest of this in there. And lastly, the purple. Put that in the middle. Okay, let's just put a little swirl in here. And I'll swirl the sides. And I'll get my gold drizzle down the purple and swirl that. I don't know what I'll call this yet. Probably just eucalyptus, lavender, and peppermint. And bring it back for the cut. Okay, let's cut into this. Sure smells awesome. Okay, let's see how this turned out. I like that end piece, but it's very thin. I'm really interested to see how that gold within the bar turned out. There's a little vein of gold there. A little bit on this side too. Yeah, it did show up throughout the bar so far. It's a real soft swirl type here. Just the ripples of the wet soap being poured creates that neat effect. I see little traces of the gold there. The shimmer in these green and purple micas is really nice to see too. I like the real soft look of this swirl. And sometimes the gold hardly shows up at all, but it does show up on the top. So I am planning more inspired by artist soaps. They take me a little longer to prepare and research and all that. But in the meantime, I'm still making my other soaps too, like this one. And I haven't made an essential oil soap in a long time, so I certainly wanted to build up my stock in that. And thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments while people have been sending that, and I really enjoy reading them. And check out my Instagram. I know some of you are, because I see you appear there too. And we'll see you next time with hopefully another inspired by artist soap. So you guys take care, and we'll see you later. Bye.